We're good.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome to Wednesday. It is Wednesday, March 10th. It's so much good energy in the air. Why? Because spring is near. The weather is warming up, students, and the sun is shining. I hope that everyone was able to get outside yesterday, teachers, staff, and students. If you were not, please make sure you do so today. It's nothing like being outside, getting some fresh air, getting that natural vitamin D. So again, so good to see everybody, teachers, staff members on this Wednesday, March 10th. As always, Wednesday is a really great day for us because we have Mr. Robinson, our percussion teacher here. Hey, Mr. Robinson, how are you? And we have Mr. Johnson, who is our Thursday instrumental music teacher. He's here with us today. Hey, good morning, Mr. Johnson. And later on, you're going to hear from a very special guest, Mr. Leonard Doc Gibbs. Mr. Leonard Doc Gibbs, so give him a hand wave or a smile or something. And we will tell you a little bit more about him later and how instrumental he has been with music. So students, as always, we want to remind you to practice pause. We are students that are peaceful and positive with our interactions with others. We are accountable. We take ownership for our actions. We are well-mannered and we are wholesome young people and we solve problems. So today, thank you for everybody for rocking your Conwell gear. So whether it's your royal blue and gold or if it's your honors hoodies, thanks for wearing them. And just a reminder, students that were eligible for honors hoodies, today is today, along with tomorrow, to come to school, to put your order in, or you can do it online through the Cash App. So students, don't forget that. That is for all students who have earned honors, all students who have earned their honors. So we're so proud of them. Give them a hand, please. Woo! If you are earning honors during virtual school, that is amazing. Remember, students, Conwell, we are on camera, we are on with our attendance, and we are on with our academics. Yesterday, I was very happy to see that 5th, 6th, and 7th grade hit the high 80s. You know, we strive at 95. At 95, we strive. 8th grade, we're going to still encourage you. Let's send them some good vibes. 8th grade, we know you can get here. Call them, text them, DM them, do whatever you need to do. We need 8th grade attendance up. Mr. Robinson, what do you have special for us today? Mr. Robinson.
So today I'm going to play a video of a young percussion group. They're called the Leopard Percussionists. And HBO did a documentary on them. I believe it was back in 2008. And they're performing one of the songs that we've done at Conwell before, Low Rider. So hopefully when we're back in school, this is what we will be doing. So I'm going to do a screen share of that video.
Sounds good. We're excited.
Okay.
Mr. Robinson. That was awesome. Let's give a hand for those young people. Again, if you haven't signed up for percussion, if you haven't signed up for any of our instrumental music classes or strings, there is still time to do so. So I want to remind you of that. Also, thank you for everybody who signed up for the Harlem Renaissance. I know seventh graders, you're working on the Harlem Renaissance right now in Mr. Verdi's class. So please, if you like to sing, if you like to dance, if you like to do poetry, if you like to rap, Harlem Renaissance will be meeting on Thursday, starting tomorrow at 2 o'clock. You don't want to miss it. So just like we would pull you out of class if we were in the building, we're doing the same thing virtually so you can have this experience. So thank you to all the young people that have already signed up for that. If you haven't, there's still time to sign up for the Harlem Renaissance. Thanks again, Mr. Robinson. We appreciate it. Always good.
No problem. Hopefully that'll be Conwell in the new future. And instead of the purple, we'll be rocking the Conwell blue shirts.
That's right. That Conwell blue and gold. Thank you so much, Mr. Robinson. And that goes right with our theme as we have Mr. Leonard Gibbs with us today. I'm going to turn it over to Ms. Fran Jones, who has a very special introduction.
Good morning, everybody. And today, with great pleasure, I am introducing you to Leonard Gibbs. And Doc Gibbs and I go way back to one of my days at Jones Middle School when he came and worked with us for a whole summer during our SLAM program. And we had such a successful summer program because of him. Doc Gibbs is an American percussionist. Doc has studied at the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts in the early 1970s, and he has toured with artists such as Anita Baker, Whitney Houston, Bob James, Ricky Lee Jones, Al Jarreau, Grover Washington Jr., and Erykah Badu. So without further ado, I leave you guys with Doc Gibbs. Welcome to Conwell.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you. Good morning to everyone. It's still a little early where I am. I'm in Salem, Oregon, and we're around 5:30, 5:45, something like that in the morning. So it's still a little dark outside. But it's a pleasure to be here with you folks. Ms. Fran Jones reached out to me a couple weeks ago and asked me if I would come and do a little presentation and talk about my experience. So I'm born and raised in Philadelphia. I went to Philadelphia Public Schools. I graduated from West Philadelphia High School. I grew up around 56 and Arch in West Philly. And after high school, I went to the Pennsylvania Academy of Fine Arts for painting and drawing, sculpturing. And I was there for 2 years, but in the process, I was bitten by the drum bug. And I've been bitten by that bug ever since. And that started me on my journey to being a percussionist and looking to develop my talents as a percussionist. A percussionist plays congas, timbales, bongos, shakers, cowbells, all kind of different percussion instruments other than the drum set. So I began studying with some of the masters in Philadelphia. I never really had any formal training. I like to say I went to the school of the streets to learn how to play. And I developed my talents and was very fortunate to perform with Grover Washington Jr. And that's where I got my start. Grover Washington Jr. is a very well-known jazz saxophonist who's from Buffalo, but he lived in Philadelphia until he passed. So it was through Grover that I really got my start, and he was the one that gave me my name, Doc Gibbs. So throughout the years, I've worked with Anita Baker, Al Jarreau, Bob James, Whitney Houston, and many, many, many others. And I've been very lucky and fortunate to have traveled around the world. I like to tell people that the drum took me around the world, and I had an opportunity to experience what life is like around the world and how different people live and how different it is from here in the States. And the main thing that I noticed was how much people gravitated to the music of America, to jazz music. And jazz is really America's true art form. And so we became like ambassadors going around to different cities performing and bringing the music. So fast forward, after many years of touring and recording and living in Philadelphia, I moved to Los Angeles back in 2015. And when I got to Los Angeles, I realized that there was not much work for musicians because they're taking music out of everything. And it's so great to see Mr. Robinson, a music teacher in the schools system, because when I was going to school, every school had an orchestra and a band, and we really need to get back to that art form along with other forms of art. Art is very important, and it helps you to develop your mind. So, after getting to Los Angeles and finding no work, I decided I got to figure out how to make some work happen. So I decided to reinvent myself. And I started using some of my percussion instruments for healing. And these instruments that I use bring about peace, bring about reconnecting mind, body, and spirit. So I started doing my sound therapy for Alzheimer patients, senior living, rehabilitation centers, yoga centers. And things were starting to move along pretty good, and then all of a sudden COVID hit. And that knocked me out of being able to go in person to different places and locations to present sound therapy. So after thinking for a while, I decided I'm going to start using sound and creating online. And so that brought me to Zoom. So I've been doing Zoom therapy, and I do it for people across the country because we're all connected with these little boxes that we're in. And so everyone can come to me. I don't have to leave my house, and I have all my instruments here. So I can really take you on a nice journey to peacefulness and relaxation in your mind. So I got a few instruments that I want to use to give you an idea of what my sound therapy is like. Is that all right for everyone? Okay, cool. So I'm going to give you just a little taste of what sound therapy is like. You can just relax, and this is going to really prepare you for the day, because once I'm done, you're going to be ready to hit that day real hard and get the most out of it. So here we go. sound therapy. Hope everyone enjoyed that. Just want to give you a little information about this instrument that I was using. This is called a hand pan. Looks like a flying saucer. And it comes from Switzerland and is made by a company called Pan Art. And this instrument is made of metal. It's a metal drum, and it has different sounds. Each one of these little indentations is a note. And the people that invented this got the idea from the steel pan. It comes from Trinidad. So my drum has taken me around the world, and now it has taken me to being a healer with some of my instruments, bringing about peace, bringing about unity, love, some of the very important things that we need to get back to. So this sort of ends my little presentation. I don't know if anybody has any questions or anything. I do sound therapy online. I usually post a flyer on my Facebook page, and I do sound therapy for groups and also for private individuals. So thank you once again for having me.
I have to ask, can you do one more song with your drums and all that good stuff?
You want something with the drums?
Something.
Let's put in their encore.
Yes, something with the drums. I like it.
Oh, sort of like an encore. Like
Yeah.
Encore, 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 encore.
Okay, I got to grab the drum. Hold on one second.
All righty. And the congas and all that good stuff. Take me back down memory lane.
I'm going to grab my djembe because the congas are over that part of the room, and I'd have to rearrange a whole lot of stuff to get to those conga drums. But I got my djembe right here. And this is one of the drums that I used when I came to the school.
Yes, you did.
Some years ago. This drum is called a djembe. It's one solid piece of wood. It's got like a little design down the bottom. You see where the carver put the design in. It's got a very tight roping technique that attaches the goat skin to the drum. So I'm going to give you a little encore with my djembe.
All righty.
That's called encore. Conwell.
Thank you. That was great.
My pleasure. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Fantastic. Let's give it up again. Woo! And it is really truthful that music is soothing to the soul. And so I'm so glad that you were here with us today to complement what we do on Wednesdays and Thursdays with Mr. Robinson and Mr. Johnson, our music teachers. Mr. Doc Gibbs, an absolute pleasure. Thank you for sharing your gifts and your talents with us. And music is truly healing. I'm just looking at all the awesome things that I'm seeing in the chat and how people really, really were moved and inspired by the music. So absolutely fantastic. Thank you for sharing our gift. Once we all get off, please stay on. And let's give up again for Mr. Doc Gibbs.
Thank you.
Music legend.
Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. You're so welcome. So everybody, don't forget, it is Wednesday. It's our bi-weekly assembly with Mr. Washington. The links will be coming to you shortly. It's Women's History Month. So we have women in law enforcement. That is the focus for today, women in law enforcement. So without anything else, we're gonna close out as we always do. Conwell Cougars! Go make it great. Have a good day, everybody. See ya. Have a good day. See ya.
Bye.
Have a good day. Go make it great. See ya, see ya, see ya.